So to keep finishing off the series on recognizing the evil, right? The first thing I think that should be the prerequisite, it really should be the start, is really knowing yourself, right? Knowing where you stand at, knowing who you are. And like I said in the last one about knowing that you are the chosen one, you have to understand what comes with that. They say to whom much is given, much is expected. And you have to understand it comes with a lot. It comes with everything you want in being a chosen one, or success. And I use that example. I use success as an example. I use even monetary success as an example. Famous people know when they become famous, they know that their privacy is done. You got to understand privacy is done. You're going to have like the photo type of people, was that paparazzi? You're going to have them popping out the bushes and stuff like Indians, you're going to have all this type of behavior like around you. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what famous people have to go through. That is the trade-off of being famous. You're going to have this type of stuff. You're going to have all types of corny rumors going around and stuff like that. Most of them is not true. Some of them is true. It wouldn't matter if it was true or not true. It's corny. So you're going to have that type of stuff. The example I made about the corny behavior of what happens to the chosen one is you don't have to worry about being famous and them popping out and taking pictures and things like that. You got to more worry about the fact that you're going to get an unbelievable, immeasurable, imponderable amount of hate. All right. And the thing that made me recognize who I was in this whole scheme of things was I really looked at a homeless person. And I know that this might sound derogatory, but it's not. So what I did was I looked at a homeless person one day, like I was literally going to go get him food, like literally. And I sat down, and this is normally something I do. I'll sit down and eat with him and talk with him and stuff like that. Just a normal thing that I do. So I sit down and talk with him. And in the middle of talking with him, I got like an epiphany that everybody was walking past us. As a matter of fact, I will tell you that somebody actually stopped me and said, yo, that was nice of what you did. And it kind of, I was like, thank you. But it kind of rubbed me just a little bit the wrong way. Cause I was about to tell him like, well, why you ain't do nothing? Like, why you haven't done it? But I kind of was like, all right, thank you, and kept it moving. But that was the epiphany, right? But when I got the epiphany, I was upset enough to want to say that to the next person. And the epiphany is this: if you weren't a chosen one, if you weren't so special, if you wasn't the soldier that God needed you to be, you wouldn't get that type of hate. See how easy that is? So it's very easy to recognize what type of person you are. Because if you wasn't the chosen one, people will walk past you like the bum on the curb. See how easy that is? It's very easy to figure out where you stand in the scheme of things. Me, I'm the type of person that wherever I go, I get that. I know that. I could be as quiet as I want to be. I could walk through that joint and not say nothing, and I'm going to get the hate. This is a guarantee. It's happened my whole life. It's happened since I was in middle school, since I was a child. This is a normal, happened in my neighborhood. This is just a normal thing. I'm going to get the hate. You know why? Because of that. You are chosen. I thought it might have been just because of my looks. It might have been because of my personality. I thought so many different things. But it's because of that. This is not an ego trip. This is not something I chose. Believe me, this is something I would not want. I would not want, I would take anything but this. But this is just what it is, and I can't take it. I can't give it away. This is just something that it is. And this is not a normal life. This is a very corny life. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, you're going to see things that you're not going to want to see. You're going to experience things you would never want to experience. Shit, you're going to experience things you would never want somebody else to experience. But it's part of the plan. And when you get that level of hate, it could turn some people cold. It can really turn people cold. You can start acting out. You could start really giving people what they came for. And it works. You mean, and it's in the beginning it'll make you feel good. Then at the end, what happens is you find out that it compounds. Like you got to do even the most, and that's another thing that happens. You're gonna have to do everything extra. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna do extra. You gotta overdo it. You know what I'm saying? And what happens is that you end up getting a lot of the other attention. And this is just really this kind of like the sadness of it. That's why I said it's not something, you want, or something that you will want other people to go through because of that. And when you finally recognize it and accept and know thyself and accept it, you're going to look at other people and you're going to see that these people that you wanted to represent you, these people that you believed in, that you thought were your heroes and things like that, you're going to see that you were looking for them for help and nothing really came. And you're going to look and understand that that's what God wanted you to go through, because God wants you to know that the chosen ones can only go to God. That's the only person you can go to. That's the only one you can go to is God. That's the only one on your level. Now, don't get it wrong. You can go to other chosen people, stuff like that. But the old saying says, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. When the student is really ready, the teacher will disappear. This is normal. Like, you got to recognize your skill set. You got to recognize where you at in life. You got to recognize who you are. You are that person. You are that person. And recognize that if you was the bum on the curb, they would walk past you. You would not get that. Nobody's going to care about this stuff. But when you are that chosen one, they care. They care. They'll do anything to bring you down. Here they come. Here come the hate. And they come with a whole marching band. They come just like that. And you got to keep knocking them down. And I mean, this is just how your life is going to be. Some people take the easy way out. They run from their destiny. And then you have people like Dr. Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, and all these type of people. They embrace it. And they understood it. I just saw the thing on Louis Farrakhan. And he talked about misrepresenting yourself. And that's what I did. When I talked in the last video, when I said I didn't represent myself right. I did not accept who I was. I ran from it, basically. And that's worse than actually keep confronting it or keep fighting the evil. Because what happens is if you run from it, it's still you. You can't run from this. You can't run from who you are. You take yourself everywhere. So you have to face it right there. You know what I'm saying? You got to really face it right there. And that's something that I was able to see a long time ago. The problem is that I faced it in a more detrimental way to myself. I fought it every time. I faced it with that type of energy. And what happens when you keep fighting it? Like I said, you keep having to do the most. And you could lose your life, or you can lose your freedom doing stuff like that. So embracing it has to also be in a way of, you have to do it with love and with your heart. Now, don't get it wrong. I used to embrace it with my heart even then. I did. You know what I'm saying? My heart was telling me to do this type of stuff. But it's the energy. I was taking the energy in and giving it back. Like, people say, like, I'm going to match your energy. That's what I was doing. I was making sure I matched the energy. You come for me like that, I'm going to give it right back to you. And in many ways, I will still do that. I would never tell a person to not protect themselves. But you have to know who you are. And you have to know why they're coming for you. They're coming for you because you're chosen. You are a chosen one. You are a person that Allah favors. Now, when you're misrepresenting yourself, you're always going to have that glitch in the matrix. You're always going to have those running. You're going to have people keep coming to try to take you out. Like the agents in the matrix. What's the Agent Smiths and all that? You know, all them type of agents, they'll come down, flipping around, trying to get Neo, doing all this weird stuff, and he dodging all the bullets and all that, like the Matrix. You're going to have that. You're going to have all these people jumping out of the woodworks, and just they will find any reason to hate you. They will be like, oh, he breathed that different way. I didn't like the way he breathed right there. What is that? Oh, I didn't like the way he walked right there. He was walking funny. Why did he walk like that? I mean, it will be any reason for them to hate you. This is just what it is. They'll find anything. Oh, he looks weird. He's quiet. I don't like quiet people around me. This is what it is. That's your brightness. That's your light. A lot of times people, especially like the insecure people, they'll see your lightness. They'll see your light. And immediately they're insecure. That's why you're not going to have too many friends. So you're not going to have too many friends because immediately, as soon as they are around you, their insecurities pop right up. Right? So if you're a man and you go out with other men, immediately the women are going to know you are different from the other people you with. So you're going to get that. If you are in like a relationship, immediately the chick that you with is going to try to find many ways to try to hurt you. So she'll like deal with somebody that you know is not the same brightness. And also by brightness, you know what I mean. I mean that heart that shines within. Because there's going to be an aura around people that are high energetic, highly godly, highly favored people, chosen ones, things like that. There's many names of us, but they have a different type of light, and they attract a different type of attention. And one thing I like about chosen ones is you'll never dull another person. If he's a real chosen one, you'll never dull his attention. If he's just somebody that looks good and stuff like that, you'll see the difference between when they come together. Because what happens is if you got somebody that looks good and is chosen one, that person that just looks good, he's going to want all the attention. And when he sees you, he's going to be trying to dull your light. You will never dull somebody else's light. If you're a chosen one, you'll never want to dull somebody else's light. This is just not your behavior. This is not your characteristics. You're never going to walk around and be like, oh, you'll try to bring him down. It's just not a thing you'll do because you will kick your less. Like you, as a matter of fact, you might bring light to him. Like, yeah, yo, like, cause that's just your characteristics. And how would I know that? Because that's something I would do. So you'll bring light to them. You want to see them eat. And the problem is they will never do the same for you. And just like I said about they're driving, you're not driving, they would never do the same for you. So, when I saw the Louis Farrakhan thing about misrepresenting yourself, when they come with all the hate, the slander, the narratives and things like that, know that a liar will always fear the coming of the truth. They will always fear it. And what the liar does is he'll do anything that he can to try to dull the truth. Now, we're not talking about a person that this is real truth. This is not like a white lie type of stuff and goofy stuff like that. No, this is real narratives. This is more something to do with your character or the type of person you is. They will come with everything. They will come with everything with the marching band, like I said in the last one. Here they come. Boop, 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 boop. And the liar will always fear the truth. They will do anything they can to try to hide the fact that you know the truth. Isolate you. Narrative control. Lying. Stopping your money. Social engineering, like going on social networks and stuff like that. Relational aggression. They will do anything to stop your shine, to stop your truth. Because they know when that truth come out, it will destroy their whole, the glass world that they live in, the whole smoke screen. Like, I mean, it'll blow them away. And a chosen one, especially one that's solid and knows his position, they don't care. You come here. Come on, what you got? You don't care. You know why? Because you stand on truth. You know what it is. They're gonna make sure that the narratives is done behind your back, but you gonna come right in, knock that joint right down. It's gonna have to stay that way. And that's what the chosen one, that's what happens when you start representing yourself the right way. When you're representing yourself the right way, they're going to fear the truth, yo. They're going to fear the light coming into the truth, because what's going to happen is everybody's going to find out that they are a liar. And they're scared of that. They're scared of everybody finding out that they some trash and that you was really the chosen one. Also, principles. Principles belong to everybody. Like, what kills me is this. This principles is something that's everlasting. That's why these things don't waver. Like, that's why I said the thing about you having any religion. There are tenets and principles in religion that it doesn't matter who you think you pray to, what kind of God you think you pray to, what name you call God, or whatever. That stuff doesn't matter. These principles are everlasting. These joints don't waver. And when these principles, when you adhere to them, they take on multi-races, they take on multi-genders, they take on multi-religions. These principles take on multi-everything. They are one thing. They go on to many different places, but it's one thing. And that's what these people are afraid of. They're afraid of principle standing. That's what you're not afraid of. I go anywhere I want. I never duck my head. I never look over my shoulder and stuff like that. You know why? Stand on truth. You stand on truth. You stand on truth. You do the same thing. You stand on truth. This is something that you don't have to worry about. And if you representing yourself right, you don't have to worry about that, because you stand on truth. What are they going to do that's going to knock you off your truth? That's why you can always withstand the whatever the narratives or the brunt or whatever that they come with, the smoke screen and everything, the narratives. Now, there's always going to be that marching band of hate, right? The marching band and the narratives and all that. But there's also going to be those angels. And I have a saying, I'll be like, yo, the angels be letting me know evil lurks. That's my little saying, right? But the truth, there's a lot of truth to that. There's going to be angels that's going to come into your life, yo, that you may not know at that moment that they were angels, but these, and I'm not just talking about people, I'm talking about situations. These situations are life-saving. You don't even know where they was coming from, but they were life-saving. And you gotta that's why I said, just have that relationship with God, because he sent them. He sent them for you. And as hard as it is to see Dr. Martin Luther King go out like that, you kind of wish that he had somebody to stop Oswald and things like these type of people, Malcolm X and all that. You that much of a sellout? You that much of a sellout? That's what you do? I mean, where's your I'm not going to do this? Where's your I'm not going there? Like, there's got to be a line that has to be drawn, right? Right? I mean, I know people seen the movie Belly. You remember what he did? You remember he could not kill the minister? Is there going to be something that y'all going to be like, yo, I can't do that, yo? Or y'all just want to sell out status on everything and everybody? You just selling out for cheap. Your price is that low. There's a hadith in the Quran. I mean, in the hadith in Bukhari Sahih hadith that talks about a rock being put in front of a cave, and I'll put it on up there. And it was three things that you did something out of the fear of God, out of fear of Allah, taqwallah, and you were so afraid of God, and you thought about Him at that moment, and you just didn't do it. And I can promise you, there's been multiple times that that's happened to me, where I feared the law so much I was like, yo, I'm not doing this, yo. Now, I mean, I have overlooked some things too, but alhamdulillah, I have overlooked things that I'm so happy I didn't do it. And I ain't gonna go here and incriminate myself or bring my bad deeds to the light with this type of stuff, because there's Muslims, you want your deeds covered. But the type of behavior that these people will go through, I mean, they killed our leaders. They sold out that bad. This is what you'll do. This is what you do. You that much of a sellout. And that bothers me, because that's one of the things I had to think about as I went on my crusade on trying to make sure that the truth came out. One of the things I had to think about was, who is this harming? And is this a revenge factor? Am I going for this out of revenge because I hated this type of situation so much? Or am I going to spite myself? Am I going to hurt myself while bringing this stuff to the truth? Because some things, yo, honestly, yo, it's not worth it, yo. Some things is not even worth it, yo. Some things is so disgusting, and you know the truth. And some things, the truth is so disgusting. The truth is so disgusting that you just like, you know what, I don't even care. You can run with that. Because that's how bad it is, yo. I know there's people that's going to look at this and going to know what I'm talking about. They're going to know their life. They're going to look at their life and be like, that's exactly what that was, yo. And I wouldn't even care about that, John, yo. Because that's so disgusting that you wouldn't even want to defend that. You wouldn't even want to bring attention to it because it's that disgusting. And know that every chosen one has that in their life. That's how I know about it. That's how I would know, and I don't know y'all. But you know why? Because every chosen one has these type of things, because of the narratives, because of the type of stuff that happens, and you have the type of trials and tribulations. You know, also know why I understand this, because the prophets went through this. And I hope you understand. I know you know that the prophets were chosen ones, right? That's why I read them. I read these things so I know what I'm going to experience in life. I know that I'm going to have the woman that was unfaithful. I know that I'm going to have the sibling rivalry. I know that Allah is going to make sure that he isolates me so that I can look towards just only Him. I know that I'm going to be crucified, slandered, and backbitten. Do you understand that? Do you understand that these chosen ones, this is not just something, this is not an ego trip. This is a real thing. This is a real thing. And if you stand on principle, you're going to go through it. You're going to have a hellish life. I'm going to put on there what the Quran talks about the believers. What we're going to have to go through. Do you think that you will not be tested? Like I tested those before you? Like I tested the chosen ones before you? So know that. Know that the same people you sit with is going to be some of the ones that's going to cause some of the most affliction. Some of the hardest affliction. Those same people that you sit with in that circle. They're going to be the ones that's going to be backbiting too. That's just what it is, yo. And what Malcolm X and Louis Farrakhan, Minister Farrakhan actually told me this on the video. Not told me in person, but on the video. They hate you when you mess up the establishment. When you upset the establishment, they hate you. And here they come. And the one sad thing that happens when you mess up the establishment, right, is that you're trying to wake people up, right? You're trying to take people like, yo, don't you see that? Look at this. Look at what's going on. Can't you see this? Why are you walking right into a burning building? Dr. Martin Luther King said, I'm ashamed, or I fear that I've been walking my people into a burning building. You know why he felt that way? Because he saw that no matter if you woke up or you stayed asleep, it didn't matter. It didn't matter, yo. Because if you wake up, they're going to try to kill you. Like they did him. Like they do anybody that wakes up that tries to upset the establishment. And if you stay asleep, they're already killing you the long way. 1,000 cuts. And you don't even know you're being killed. So it's like, pick your poison. Red pill, blue pill. Either way, you got to eat the pill. And this is the saddest thing about reality. Because no matter what, this is what you get. But there's a light at the end of the tunnel, y'all. You know why? Because no matter what, even if you chose to stay asleep and you chose to get put back into the matrix, that it was too much for you, even if you're murdered, like Dr. Martin Luther King and Malcolm X, or even if you never woke up, guess what? You got a relationship with God. There's nothing more important than having a relationship with your Lord, yo. There is nothing more important on this earth than having a relationship with your Lord. I don't care what religion you are in. That's not my concern. There's going to be Muslims that are going to be like, oh, I only mess with Muslims and stuff like that. And that's true. Like, it just is what it is. But a believer is a believer. See, there's a difference. You probably didn't know that. But you do have to be Muslim to be a believer. But a believer is a believer. And by I mean Muslim, I hope you understand that. Because there's so many, there's Tawheed, there's different aspects of Tawheed and stuff like that. So I'm not even going to go into that. But you have to be that. So there's a lot of people, Muslim, that may have taken this Shahada not even knowing it. They may have not even known it. And they've done it with the sincerity of the 7 conditions. But then there's also people that did it, that took the Shahada and didn't do it with the 7 conditions. They don't know it. They don't even know their Shahada is not even valid in Allah's eyes. But it's Allahu A'lam. Allah is the last of the understanders of these type of things. He is the God. He's the understander. He's God. So he's the one that judges this type of stuff. That's why I try my hardest not to judge other people. I just stay away from them. Why? Or not give them a final judgment. Why? Because he's the ultimate chooser of this type of stuff. He's the one that's going to choose. And that's where my maturity level has really taken off, because that's when I look back and was like, yo, I'm really on a different level with this type of stuff, because I used to try to condemn, and I was the one, banging the hammer on the gavel and all that. I was ready to be, I'm condemning, this is me. And sure enough, he's the best of planners, and he's the ultimate judge. So when you are trying to wake people up like Dr. Martin Luther King, and finding it hard for yourself to see it, you have to understand that people don't want to be woken up, yo. Some people do not want to be saved, yo. Some people are okay with being condemned and walking right into the burning house. Some people want to be put on fire. It just is what it is. Some people are okay with not having a God, believing in God, stuff like that, or whatever they want to call that type of stuff. Some people okay with that. And some people you want to try to save, they're not going to want to be saved, yo. And because you tried to save them, they'll always resent you. They will hate you forever because of that. Oh, you tried to save me. Who you think you is, huh? And they will resent you forever for that. And God forbid if they try to harm you because of it. Because that's what happened with Dr. Martin Luther King and Malcolm X, especially Malcolm X, because he tried to tell people the truth and they wouldn't listen. So know that about yourself, chosen one, that people are not going to want to be saved. I'm going.